Welcome to Decoding the Unknown, the place where we discover together the boundaries of the unknown. This channel is dedicated to exploring the world's most fascinating mysteries, revealing hidden truths, and discovering the science behind reality. From archaeological enigmas and lost civilizations to unexplained phenomena and theories that defy convention, here we seek answers to questions that have fascinated mankind for millennia. Subscribe and embark with us on an exciting journey where reality meets science and mystery. In the heart of Siberia, hidden among the wild landscapes of the Shoria Mountains, lies a megalithic site that defies conventional understanding of history, Gornaya Shoria. Academics and funded geologists have long argued that Gornaya Shoria is the result of natural processes, interpreting similarities with man-made structures as mere coincidences. One of their main objections to an artificial origin is the staggering size of the blocks. The largest documented stone weighs several thousand tons. Imagine what a discovery it would be if it were confirmed that these huge stones were manipulated by an ancient civilization. Traces of erosion on their surface suggest that these structures may be the work of a civilization that existed millennia ago. But the Russian media, along with various institutions and organizations, seem to vehemently reject this idea in order to protect the official historical timeline. According to this timeline, humanity's past does not extend as far back in time as one might suspect. Articles written by Russian scientists claim that the blocks are the result of intense erosion and tectonic pressures acting on deep layers of rock. These processes would have lifted the stones to the surface, shaping them into rectangular formations that resemble man-made structures. However, independent researchers have begun to bring forward new evidence. They suggest that the site is not a natural formation, but an artificial construction with a much more complex history. The blocks at Gornaya Shoria show unique features that indicate they were cut with lost technologies. The tool marks found on their surface resemble those seen on the unfinished obelisk in Aswan, Egypt, and at the Bazda caves. These caves are recognized by academics as the ancient stone quarries of Haran, but their distinctive design links the Siberian site to other ancient ruins around the world. Moreover, detailed analysis of the blocks suggests that they may have been worked by the same civilization responsible for famous megalithic structures such as Baalbek, where there are blocks of over 1,000 tons. Although the Yangshan quarry in China holds even larger blocks of up to 16,000 tons, they have not been completely freed from the rock. These colossal blocks represent an extraordinarily valuable discovery, even in the face of the willful ignorance of many academics. Recent evidence has rehabilitated the marginalized researchers, proving that their theory, that the site was created by human hands, is a valid one. The Gornaya Shoria site, through the enigmatic arrangement of its huge blocks, remains an enigma that challenges classical theories. The Gornaya Shoria site has not yet been fully explored. There is a possibility that some of its stones are even heavier than those from the Yangshan quarry. Gornaya Shoria is one of the most captivating sites on Earth. In-depth research on ancient ruins has shown that many of these heavily eroded structures were built by highly advanced civilizations. Some ancient sites appear to have gone through several phases of construction, being reoccupied by various groups throughout history. These civilizations used the structures they discovered to prosper or preserve them, as was the case with the Great Pyramid, where the covering stones are still visible. Astounding artifacts discovered in Earth's mines, including coal seams dating back some 300 million years, raise serious questions. If these relics were from a recent civilization, they would have long since decayed. This opens up a fascinating question. How old is human history, really? Instead of answering these essential questions, many academic studies focus on details about the lifestyles of recent civilizations, ignoring the complexity of the structures they left behind. Is it possible that human civilization has been reborn several times on Earth, much more frequently than we think? Cappadocia in Turkey is an interesting example. Rock-hewn dwellings, once part of a thriving city, are now eroding before our modern eyes. Although it is obvious that they were created by extremely talented craftsmen, their true greatness has been lost to history. However, such sites, like Gornaya Shoria, suggest that mankind has outlived its own oldest ruins, a reality that is hard to ignore. Additional evidence shows that many megalithic sites are much older than the civilizations attributed to their builders. The pregnant woman of Baalbek, a massive block of stone, is often considered the largest stone moved by man. Other similar blocks are integrated into ancient structures, although academics claim that moving them would have been impossible. At the Yangshan Quarry in China, the site of the largest known megalith, there are signs of machining that suggest the blocks were already carved before they were abandoned. In southern Siberia, away from prying eyes, is Mount Shoria, housing the megaliths of Gornaya Shoria. These massive blocks have been ignored by many fields of research, even though their photographs clearly show a possible artificial origin. Huge blocks, some larger than the pregnant woman, rise above the trees, forming a cyclopean wall. The questions remain: who built them? How were they handled? And what was the purpose of these colossal structures? Gornaya Shoria is a remarkable place that requires thorough archaeological exploration. Perhaps one day we will discover who its true builders are. Elsewhere in the world, ancient temples and structures, such as Colossi in India, are evidence of a craftsmanship and precision that rivals the great masterpieces of the Renaissance. These monuments are not only built with huge megalithic blocks, but exhibit highly refined masonry and carving techniques. A recent study of the Qumran caves, known for the Dead Sea Scrolls, has identified clear traces of the tools used to cut the stone. The distinctive shape of the Qumran quarried blocks can be found in the ancient structures of the Masada ruins, but also in other archaeological sites in the region. This discovery suggests an extensive network of transportation and use of building materials, connecting the ancient civilizations of the Levant to a common system of crafts and trade. The structures at Myra, for example, show a similar style, although the Academy continues to classify them as tombs. Even though Myra is not mentioned in written sources before 168 before Christ, the stonework here bears striking similarities to other sites, such as those in Malta. The characteristic features of the theater at Myra, for example, indicate a much more advanced civilization than that attributed to conventional history. The site may have been reoccupied by later civilizations, who used the existing structures and claimed them as their own. The lack of documentation about the previous existence of these sites and the cultural prestige they brought facilitated this process. The region of Lycia, known from records of ancient Egypt and the Hittite Empire, was populated by speakers of Luwian languages. After its annexation to the Achaemenid Empire, stone inscriptions began to be made in the Lycian language, and ancient sources indicate an older name for the region, Alope. Academics continue to argue that such structures were created by primitive civilizations, although the evidence points to the contrary. It makes more sense to assume that these structures already existed and were the reason why the areas were occupied later. Who built these amazing monuments? They were probably the work of an advanced, lost civilization with global connections. Megaliths around the world remain an enigma of antiquity, suggesting the existence of a lost civilization. The colossal stones found in various places are either embedded in ancient, ruined structures or have been abandoned, covered by millennia of geological accumulation. Academics argue that the massive stones left in place, such as those at Gornaya Shoria, are simply too large to have been moved by ancient civilizations. However, this explanation seems more like an attempt to hide the existence of a lost civilization than a real effort to understand their origins. The stone of the pregnant woman in Baalbek, which weighs over 1,000 tons, is a relevant example. Considered immovable by our ancestors, it was later discovered to rest on top of another and larger stone, suggesting a colossal wall of amazing complexity. The difficulties involved in building these structures are hard to imagine even for modern man. The Great Pyramids, for example, demonstrate the extraordinary capabilities of the civilization that built them. On a smaller scale, but just as impressive, is the treasury of Atreus. This ancient dome includes a discharge triangle, a triangular opening above a 120-ton lintel that redistributes the weight, protecting the structure from pressure. The architectural details and precise calculations involved in these constructions show an advanced understanding of construction techniques. Common features of ancient architecture from various regions suggest the existence of shared knowledge or a global civilization. Although many of these details are ignored by conventional history, they continue to inspire fascinating questions and theories. Gornaya Shoria remains one of the greatest mysteries of modern archaeology. Whether it's the massive granite blocks, their precise alignment, or the links to other famous megalithic sites, this place continues to retain an aura of mystery. The impressive structures and artifacts discovered suggest a highly advanced civilization with technologies unknown to us. Although many questions remain unanswered, Gornaya Shoria continues to inspire research and theories, keeping alive curiosity about our planet's enigmatic past. So the discoveries in the Shoria Mountains are not only relics of the past, but also a window into a history that is only beginning to be understood. Thank you for choosing to explore the fascinating world of decoding the unknown with us. We want to continue to unravel together the riddles of the universe and the riddles of Earth, uncover truths hidden for too long, and bring to the fore captivating stories that challenge the imagination. If our topics intrigued you, don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating discoveries, like to support our work and share the ideas that inspired you. Explore,